I think I'm too woke to actually enjoy K-dramas anymore. I think I've crossed the threshold. Welcome to Late Night Thoughts and Ramblings with Shayna. So here's a little bit of a backstory. I used to love K-dramas. I used to be soups into them when I was in like high school and early college. Like from the romance ones to the suspense ones, I wasn't really into the horror ones. I can't really do horror. I don't like being scared. Real life is scary enough. So I even got my mom into some of them at one point. It was soups fun. And then I don't know, life got crazy and went to grad school. And then I stopped watching because it took up way too much of my time. So now I'm living in Asia and I'm like, you know what, Jaina, let's get back into some like Asian media. Let's start with K dramas and we'll make our way to like C dramas, J dramas, T drama. Oh, we'll make our way around the diaspora, right? Here's my problem though. I restarted with K dramas. I'm currently watching proposal contract proposal marriage. I don't know. One second. Business proposal. There we go. And it's a rom-com. And mind you, they've got a couple like solid chuckles out of me. So I was like, okay, let me continue watching this. But then the problematic trope started, and then I remembered a bunch of other dramas from my past, and I was like, this is a common thing. I don't want to watch this now. So, like, one that, and maybe spoilers, I don't know, but this is like a common thing that comes up in K dramas and maybe other media. I don't know. I've really only seen it in K dramas though, where like there's a rich man and then a woman who is constantly in like financial issues, whether that's her family that's like always in debt or she's in debt, but there's like debt and there's like there's like heavy financial responsibilities always weighing on her. And at some point, like the man and the woman, they get together and it's like, oh, now there's drama and now there's miscommunications and nim nim nim. And at some point, the guy, whether it's because he's like, ooh, I have feelings and I don't know what to do about this, or he's like, ooh, I'm just gonna play games with you. He has no concept of like financial woes. Usually the guy never has an idea of what it's like to struggle. And the way that he plays with her, because he doesn't know what to do with his feelings like a big boy, is he starts to play with her money. He starts to play with her career. He starts putting her in situations where she could lose her job, where she could get into more financial issues, because he's like, I'm going to make things interesting for you until you realize that I have feelings or that I'm mad or that whatever. And I'm like, ew. And also, this is a thing that happened in this drama, but like I think it happens in a bunch of other ones, or like versions of it. Basically, like this man is getting ready. He's like having a panic attack because he had a huge family tragedy that happened in a car accident in the rain, and he's having a panic attack. Right? He doesn't like doing feelings. So what does he do? And it's like raining. He's in the car with the female lead, and it's raining. He starts having a flashback that leads to a panic attack. What does he do instead of just like pulling over, having his big feeling, and like maybe telling her, hey, I'm going through a thing right now? What does he do? He kicks her out in the middle of the street, drives away. Mind you, it's nighttime and it's raining. And this is a part of Korea that she is unfamiliar with. It's a place she's always wanted to go, completely unfamiliar with. He drops her off on a corner, not even on a corner, in the middle of the street in the rain, drives off, and then has his big boy feelings. So what does she do? She has to try and find somewhere. Like, I understand that this is like a rom-com K-drama, so like there's no rapists in a K-drama. Hey, it's the world. You've dropped this woman off in the middle of the rain, in the middle of the night, by herself. And then, like, by the time that you were done with your big four feelings, you're like, oh my God, where'd she go? Where's the love of my life? And then she happens to go to a hotel where some of her friends, not friends, bad friends, are there. And then that's when he decides to play the best boyfriend ever. And I got so mad. I got the biggest ick and I got so mad. I was like, I would just fight him. Because what did you mean? You put my life in danger. You didn't tell me why. Not that it would make it any better, but like, You just threw me out in the middle of the, and mind you, this guy is the CEO of the company that she works for, and she thought that they were going on a work trip. He was trying to have like a vacation. So she's trying to be soups professional, and he's trying to woo her. And so your boss kicks you out in the middle of the street at night in the rain. And like, the power imbalance also, like, I would be so mad. Don't try to play boyfriend now. I almost died. So that's like one thing that's like a trope. And then on the other side, so she has a friend. I really like the female friendship in this rom-com. So she has a best friend, and her best friend is in love with like the secretary, or like second-hand person of the CEO. Longest story short, there's a lot of like the best friend, when it comes to the guys, she's like high key a pick me at this point. Maybe it changes, but it's really giving pick me. At some point, they hook up. Now, my issue with that, listen, I am always here for a spicy scene, turn up, but like a spicy scene that is not inherently, fundamentally problematic. Because the only reason that they hooked up was because she was blackout drunk. And like throughout this series, this guy has been positioning like this character, the character that she's obsessed with, the pick me, the second hand of the CEO. His character's been positioned as like this really upstanding moral guy, and then he bangs a woman who has just confessed her undying love to him, and she is blackout. So then the next morning she's like, oh my gosh, like I'm so embarrassed, I don't want to, like, let's just pretend that this didn't happen, let's just pretend that this didn't happen. And now he's like, it's being shown that he has feelings, I guess, but I'm like, she couldn't consent to anything. But this is also a trope. And I'm like, now I've got the ick, and now I'm like, both of these women need to get out of these situations. But I'm also like, unfortunately, this is just common. These are common tropes in dramas. And I'm not even saying within like Asian dramas. I think these are just common tropes in a lot of like rom-coms, and a lot of, there's just weird power dynamics and weird like lacks of consent that create gray spaces where people go, ooh, maybe this is a little sexy. No, it's not. Now, I just feel bad for these ladies. Like, if anybody has any recommendations of non-problematic uh, C C dramas, K dramas, T dramas, J dramas, any of the dramas, you got non-problematic faves, please let me know, because yikes. All right, it's way too late. Oh God, it's like 2:40 in the morning. Okay, I'm done. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. All right, bye guys.